Chris Evans has left Top Gear, and a lot of the headlines have been dominated with allegations of sexual harassment, some even pointing towards the fact that Chris may have left because of these allegations. I'm joined in studio by our sex and relationship columnist, Dorothy Black, and today we're going to talk about sexual harassment in the workplace. Now, Chris Evans has left Top Gear, and you know, a lot of these stories are now surfacing of people he's worked with accusing him of sexual harassment. So I want to talk about, firstly, what is sexual harassment?
Right. So sexual harassment is, especially in the workplace, is any unwanted sexual attention, which can range from verbal to non-verbal. So, for example, gestures, sexual jokes that you don't want, obviously physical touching, rape, being looked at in a way that you find offensive. So it's there's quite a broad range of it, but it also goes into sexual favoritism. So if you put out to your coworker or your clients or your bosses sexual advances, you get something in return. Or sexual victimization, in which case you don't put out, you don't respond, and you are punished for that, quote unquote. So any unwanted sexual advance that you feel is offensive to you.
Have you ever experienced sexual harassment in the workplace?
I've experienced a quite wider range of harassment in the workplace, particularly with one particular boss. And the problem for me was that I was the only person working there for the longest time. And so it was very difficult to know how to deal with it. I didn't know that there was support for it. I didn't know that I could leave at this stage. So a lot of the times it's so complicated, it's so complex because it happens in such small progressions, you know. So I think for a lot of people who find themselves in a position or being the object of someone's harassment, especially sexual harassment in the workplace, it first takes you a little while to understand exactly what's happening. And I think in that process of finding out for yourself what's happening and whether you're comfortable with it, I think a lot of people feel like they cannot respond to it because they've taken too long maybe, or they've maybe responded in ways to kind of protect themselves or to keep themselves clear of it. And so I think the complexity of it sometimes makes it difficult for people to come out and talk about it.
How did you, now in this particular report, the woman who is accusing Chris of these actions is saying it actually happened quite a while ago, I think
Right.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
If there's been that length of time in between the incident and when you're ready to speak about it, do you have to go a different route?
You know, I don't know about the different routes. I know the CCMA requires, and I do stand under correction here, but I do know that the CCMA requires it to be reported within 6 months.
Okay.
I think of either leaving your job or the incidents happening. If you take it further, if you want to take it further, you need to speak to the appropriate people. And there are people in place who can help you with all the fine prints and how long. And I would assume that if you've experienced something like this and the systems are in place to help you, the HR department, whatever, you will have access to recourse.
Now, what if you are the one being accused of sexual harassment?
Right.
What do you do in that situation?
Well, I suppose, you know, my first response to that has to be, if you were told, if you've responded completely inappropriately and you know that is the case, then own up to it. I don't know what the legal ramifications are around that, but I can't deal with people who know that they've done something wrong and then they try and prolong it and victim blame. And if you've been falsely accused, then you have nothing to worry about. Again, the legal system is in place to help and to protect everybody involved. So if you feel that you've been falsely accused, there are parameters, there's legalese around it that will help you and the accused, navigate your ways with negotiators, with support, with mediators. This is not something you try to sort out with somebody who has accused you or with the accuser. Your last point of reference is, please don't do this again. It's making me really, really uncomfortable. Please don't do this again. It's making me really, and that's it. Then you start moving onto different levels of help, and you call on those people all the time. So you never find yourself in the space with the person alone. If it's a client, you take a partner. And if your employer is not helping you, is not supporting your decision on that, then you go to an HR department for that. If your boss, there's people who will make up excuses for you to come into a meeting, make sure the door is open. At this point, I'm hoping you would have contacted HR about it, or told their secretary, or just told someone what is going on. You do not have to be alone in this. You are supported with your work colleagues, with your friends, with the legal system.